ever sat down to a meal because the clock says it's time to eat, but your tummy's telling you that you're not really hungry, but you ignore your hunger indicator and eat anyway? I imagine we ask our children to do the same. We insist on an empty plate at the end of each meal and battle with them to get it. Paediatric nutritionist Eve Reed spent some time with me discussing ways in which we can reshape our thinking toward our children's meal times. So you mentioned before that lunch, breakfast, dinner, afternoon tea, all these things. Obviously there's a sense of routine in this. How important is that for children?
Routine's extremely important for children. If you go to any school or childcare centre, there's a daily routine, and that's not just for the staff's convenience. It's because children thrive on routine. They like to know what's coming next in their daily routine. So with mealtime, structure and routine is really important for a variety of reasons. First of all, they need time to get hungry between meals.
Yes.
If we know that they know how much to eat, if you divide that into 5 meals, they're going to eat more at each meal than if you're feeding them or letting them eat 10 times a day.
So when you say 5 meals, breakfast, morning tea,
lunch, afternoon tea and dinner.
Okay.
Yes. So children who are snacking all day and who are asking for food in between meals, firstly it's important to remember that it may not be because they're hungry. They could be bored, they like a particular food, so of course they'll ask for it. But if you want them to eat what you want them to eat, then it's important to have that structure and not to let them eat in between meals, apart from water, of course. If they're eating all day, it's quite likely they're going to get to dinner time and not be hungry, and that's the meal that a lot of parents stress about, and therefore, stress when they get to the meal and the child's not hungry, and so they don't want to eat their meat and vegetables or whatever it is. And so it is important to have that meal structure and routine, and that included in that is sitting at the table to eat for morning tea, afternoon tea, lunch, breakfast and dinner, without TV, without distractions, because children and adults as well, we're not aware of our hunger and satiety as much if we're distracted.
You need to concentrate and be engaged in the meal, in the people around you, allows you to, eat till you are content.
Yes. The other thing is getting back to appetite. We don't know how hungry a child is when they come to the meal. So one meal they're going to eat more, and another meal they might eat less, and it might be different the next day. And parents can sometimes see that as fussiness, but it's just their natural appetite.
Yes. If we're presenting meals at regular intervals, we know what we're presenting them rather than just grabbing something that's quick, then we're more able to see whether or not we're meeting their nutritional needs and are able to follow it more clearly. Is that right?
Well, at least we know that we're offering what they need rather than what they want, because children, if you let them, will choose the easy foods, like it's easy to eat crackers, it's easy to drink milk, it's easy to eat yogurt. So the more challenging foods like vegetables and meat and other foods are not going to be their choice. So they're going to fill up on the easy foods and not even be hungry to want to try other foods. I just want to point out that this isn't a quick fix for children to eat meat and vegetables. They may take years to actually eat vegetables and meat. However, if you follow this approach, you won't be having the battles at the meal times. You'll be reassured that they're growing well, they'll eat enough, and they will choose from what you're offering.
And at the end of the day, what would be nicer than to sit down to a meal that doesn't have the battle, where you can just engage on the day's activities, and food, although it is important, becomes a little less so, and the people around you become more important.
Yeah.
It's obvious that these changes will take time and consistent approach, but mealtime battles can be eliminated by presenting children with good food and letting them show us how hungry they really are.